Shemai and welcome. Today I've brought Ants with me, aka Frag from Ravenheart. He's going to explain to you, first of all, how to spot a shit bass player, and then he's going to go into what he wants to tell you about how to be a good rhythm guitarist for the bass player. So mate, how do you spot a piece of shit bass player?
He won't listen to anybody but himself. If you've got a really dodgy bass player, he's like got no sense of timing.
Yeah.
And he will noodle all over the song.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got nothing against plectrum players, but for my personal taste, I like playing the bass fingerstyle because it's a hands-on thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a bass player has got to be willing to listen to a drummer. He's got to be willing to listen to his rhythm guitarist. If he's not, well, let's just say you don't hear many standalone bass players.
Yeah.
There's only a couple that I know of, and I've got a friend, Bill Clements, he's a jazz bass player, but he's phenomenal, and Billy Sheehan, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I've got really no time for bass players who don't listen. I mean, you are there for the song is not there for you.
So when you say noodling, do you mean plodding?
Plodding, yeah.
Could you explain to the lads and lassies what
Plodding
plodding
is just, you take the single notes, the root notes of a song, you find out what key it's in, what scale it's in, the first one, dun 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 dun, dun or single 4/4 timing,
Yeah.
1 2 3 4, but you don't expand your knowledge.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to expand. I mean, there are plod bass players. I mean, like Ian Hill from Judas Priest. He's not what I'd call, but he plays he's a pocket player.
Yeah.
There is a difference between a plodder. That's just somebody who's got no imagination.
Just follows the root notes as
Just
it changes.
it just follows the first note in the scale. But I mean, you do not mistake a pocket player
Yeah.
for a plodder, because Ian Hill, Chris Squire from Rush,
Yeah.
phenomenal bass player. AC/DC, another.
Yeah.
I've forgotten him. I've forgotten his.
So when talking about the hierarchy of a band, it goes drummer, bass player, guitarist. Now, I have to listen to what he plays. Anti's going to explain to you in very simple terms what he does to make it so I can understand what the drummer's doing.
You got the drum. The drummer lays down the beat. He'll lay down the timing. In some ways, I can improvise not on the timing. The timing has to be spot on, and I usually follow the bass drum, the snare drum, and sometimes the hi-hat, if it's solid enough. But 9 times out of 10, you will follow the snare for your timing. I have to keep a bass rhythm going that Scott on rhythm guitar can follow. It's no good me just losing the timing,
Because we're fucked.
losing my place, then the song just dies. I am the link between the drums and Scott on rhythm guitar, and if I am not solid, then rhythm loses its emphasis. The rhythm and the timing is essential, and when I'm solid, Scott is solid, then the lead guitarist can do his thing. He is solid.
Yeah.
And but essentially bass and drums have to be locked in together.
Yeah. But when we're playing a song, I sometimes will copy what Ants is playing, also the guitars. Now, for you personally, with a rhythm guitarist, what is the one thing that makes a good rhythm guitarist in your mind?
Well, he's got to be able to improvise.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to, in some ways, not make it up as he's going along, but he has to be able to change an aspect of the song, same key, but if he's improvising, then it makes it so much easier for me.
Yeah.
If he can improvise, but keep a solid rhythm, keep the solid guitar parts, he's got to know his fretboard. Scotty does. He knows his fretboard from one end to the other. Which, I mean, I've heard him improvise a solo, and it's a harmony solo with the lead guitarist, and he just leaves me like, I don't know. But yeah, a certain improvisation goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because it keeps people guessing, and it's also part of our repertoire. And it's not often you'll hear me use the word like that. But yeah, he's got to know his rhythm. He's got to know his fretboard. A certain amount of music theory will do nobody any harm at all.
Yeah, it's true. So, say me and you just met and we decided to jam. We've got no idea of skill level. Would you say the best thing to do is say key and scale to each other?
Yeah, I would tell you, well, basically, I'd play an E minor pentatonic, which is like the throwaway scale.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that, I mean, I know it for the rhythm, for the beginners, I mean, Scotty will cover all this later on, but it's just like do 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 do, and I would expect if he is coming to me as a rhythm guitarist, he would know his stuff.
What you're aiming for, guys, when you're with a bass player or any band member, especially if it's strings, you should not be able to hear me individually if we're playing the same thing. If you can hear me or Ants individually when we're playing the same thing, I'm out of time. Because if the bass player is always on time, I'm out of time. And when you're in a band situation, you work on that because you've got to trust your bass player. So it doesn't matter if one of us is out, I'll link with the bass player and the bass player will sort us all out. So remember that. The bass player is the one you look to. You don't want to concentrate on the drums when you've got a bass player. That's his job. Step on his toes and he'll take you outside and kick the fucking shit out of you, right? That's not our job. We do rhythm for guitars, not the bass guitar. Okay, we're on a different spectrum of sound. It's very important because the person after me is your lead guitarist. Okay, if I'm fucking up, he can't do his thing, and he's getting fucked up if I'm fucking up. Right, guys? So don't give in, keep on going, and we're out of here.